Once again, my little face is superimposed onto a tier maker website, which means it's time to rank something. Specifically, we're going to rank the levels that make up, I'm going to say it, maybe the greatest trilogy ever in video games. Ever. No qualifications. Not recently. Not this generation. Not last generation. Ever. That's what I'm going to say, right? We're going to do the Hitman World of Assassination trilogy levels and I think this is a perfect game to rank the levels. Because I mean, what makes Hitman one of the best trilogies of this era and of this medium overall, I would say, is the level design. These games are nothing without the level design. Lots of great things about them. Look great, sound great, feel great, funny, innovative, player agency at the forefront of it. But all that, I think, hinges on the level design. Right? So, without further ado, we're going to get into this here. Now, for those of you who didn't watch I'm going to try and resize this a bit. So, I'm still using the greatest invention of all time. I'm using the Steam Deck here in desktop mode. Can I zoom in here a little bit? If this looks like shit, I won't. Oh, that looks all right. Let me see here. That looks good. I realize my fat head is blocking off some of the levels here, but I'll read them out as I'm going here. So for those of you who have not seen me rank anything before, I did a number of Simpsons ranking streams last year, and the way I did it was I went through in chronological order. The chat is white on white, says Mitch. I don't think I'm going to be able to fix that, unfortunately. Well, I could, but while I'm on, actually, let me see if I can fix that, because I don't want that to. Yeah, let me see here. Actually, that should be a relatively quick text color. Is it gonna let me change it? It's not letting me change. Pop browser into dark mode, says Mitch. Wow, Mitch thinking on his feet here. How the fuck do I do that? Oh, that is very bright, isn't it? Appearance. Yeah, let me see here. I might need a Chrome extension. Okay, I think we're gonna have to go without that. I'm afraid. We're gonna. Hang on, let me see. Is there a theme here that I could pick? Okay, we're gonna have to go without this. Apologies if it's hard to read. People watching on the VOD in particular. The reason I put the chat on the screen at all is so people in watching the VOD know what I'm reacting to. But I'll keep that in mind for future streams. But I'll be here all night trying to troubleshoot this, so we're gonna have to leave it. So apologies for the white on white with the chat. What was I saying? Okay, so for the Simpsons stuff, the way I did it was I went in chronological order, okay? And we are going to do that again tonight, okay? So we're going to work our way through the Hitman games in order, and in order that the levels are typically fed to you in those games. As I have done with The Simpsons, I will also pre-populate this list with what I think is an S tier, but that actually coincides really well with just going in chronological order. Spoilers. So we'll do that. Two other notes here. This list that this helpful person has made is the user's name here. I hope it's not anything offensive. It is not. Oh, it's down the bottom, isn't it? BHT271. This person has included all of the reworkings of the main missions. So like the Source for Bangkok and Sniper Assassin for Hantiport. We're not going to be doing any of those, okay? We are just doing the maps. The maps themselves, not any fancy reworkings, not any DLC, not Patient Zero, none of that stuff. We're not doing any of that stuff. We are just doing the maps here, okay? One additional caveat as well is I tried to find one that had it. None of the tier maker lists I could find had Ambrose Island which was the most recent one they put out for Hitman 3. And so I had to decide as like, do I want Ambrose Island enough to make my own from scratch when there's a pre-made one here for me already? And the answer was no. Sadly, I don't. So there's no Ambrose Island here, but other than that, they are all the maps from the 3 games are here. So let's get going here. Let me see here. I was actually just thinking the exact same thing, Jenda. We are on the same page. I'll give Ambrose Island an honorary grade right now. It is very, very good. I think it is a high B. So keep that in your minds. Because I remember, you know what? That was actually part of what made me want to do this stream. I was thinking to myself while I was playing it, I was like, this is a good map. This is like, if you were to make a list, this is like an honorary like B. And then I was like, wait, that's what prompted me to say on stream. And then here we are months later, I'm finally doing it, going, I'm going to do a Hitman ranking stream. Okay. So we're going to kick things off here. We're going to pre-populate the list with one smash hit S tier map. Okay, and the guy's even got a list here of didn't. I assume DDI stands for didn't interact or something like that. Let me just put all this. Let me put all these little spin-off levels and sniper levels and put them all there. The Sniper Assassin, Patient Zero is the only one of these things I did. That's why I'm not doing those, is because I did not do any of those little DLC spin-offs. I did Patient Zero, which was okay, and I don't think I did any of the other ones. The Siberia, which is a sniper level. Sapienza. They remixed Sapienza. I have honestly no idea how many times they did that. Okay, I think that's everything. Oh no, okay. Oh, I'm gonna have to put it on the bottom tier because it falls under the category of a remixed level. Paris Holiday Hoarders, I'm gonna have to put on the bottom here. I loved it. That's the Home Alone Santa themed remix of Paris. It's great, but I have to be fair here. I have to be fair. If I'm putting all the others on that list, I have to put that there as well. So I'm not going. I'm going chronological. I'm going chronological. That's what I decided, and that's I can't change on the fly here. All right. But the first level is an easy one, and it's going to be our standard bearer, our flag bearer. Paris is one of the greatest video game levels ever. Okay, and I think I'll talk about why it's an S, and then we'll set out what the criteria are and what we're looking for these other levels to do. Okay. So Paris is great because first of all, it has this centerpiece mansion, right? Multiple floors, it's like 3 floors and a wine cellar. Each floor with such intricately designed rooms, and that then informs the way certain characters can move in or out it. It's the perfect clockwork level, right? The way that works. You've got a lot of complicated things going on. It's not just security guards and rooms you can't go into. There's a fashion show, there's a bar, there's a kitchen, there's all these fancy bedrooms upstairs that you can go into, and you know, you've got the guest rooms where places like the Chic are, and you've got the targets moving around, and then you've got the secret auction upstairs. I mean, it was going to be a huge hit regardless, but I don't know if this reboot trilogy is as successful as it was if the first level you played was in Paris. Because what better table setter than Paris, right? So you've got all this stuff on. You've got the classic Hitman stuff of the kind of quasi-Illuminati stuff. You've got the secret bidding going up on the top floor. You've got the fashion show. You've got all the funny dialogue. And then that stuff was great. But what really got me then was that there's a bunch of other stuff like around and underneath the surface that you might not even notice. Like I said, there's a massive wine cellar underneath the level. There's the whole helipad area where you find Helmut Kruger. There's the car park. There's the docks with the fireworks, and it's just like that was when I realized, like I said, that the level design was great, because I was like, there's so much here. Like, if you're like me and you like to follow the mission stories, the first time you play Paris, you'll go through it and you'll probably do the Helmut Kruger thing, and you go, oh, okay, I follow this guy, and then I get this wacky outfit, and I get to do a funny moment, which is a key thing in this whole trilogy, and then I get a secret meeting where I can do a kill. But, like, this is why, and I feel like I am the only person who thinks this. This is why I really liked the monthly structure that Hitman had in 2016. Because I played through Paris once, I loved it. But because it was the only map they launched with, like, back in you go. Play through it again. You can't move on to Sapienza because there is no Sapienza yet. And so it's through that replaying that I was like, wait, hold on. You can find this weapon here, and there's this guy. He's the Sheik. You can dress as him. And oh, over here. And look at this. And look at this. And look at this. It's like, it's perfect. It's the perfect sales, window dressing for the franchise. So I love Paris. Also, it was so big with so many options that when they did all their elusive targets and escalations in that first level, you were like, oh, it not only does it sell the game really well, it also sells all the additional modes and all the additional features very well. Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, as Jack says, it informs the whole trilogy. Not now in 2016, it informed that first game, but here we are, like, what are we at? 7 years later, and the sales pitch of that level still hits for everything that came after it. Yeah, the like, it has the variety of kills, as Mitch points out in the chat. It's like you can beat that level by dropping things on people, pushing people off of things. Fiber wire, obviously the classic, the various silenced pistol and things like that. There's sniper kills. There's all kinds of things the things as well. You're arranging meetings. You're making characters go to places. And what I love about the Hitman games, even the earlier ones, which are not as polished as the 2016 trilogy. What I like about Hitman is I like the hiding in plain sight. I like getting the outfits and standing in a place that you're not supposed to be standing. Do you know what I mean? That's the ultimate thrill of a stealth game, isn't it? But instead of having to just like hide in the shadows, once you get a right disguise, you're like, oh, I was getting shot 20 minutes ago and now I'm just standing in your zone. And Paris is full of that. The auction is fantastic. And again, I was 4 or 5 playthroughs deep before I realized you could participate in the auction. Do you know what I mean? Like I thought that was just, it's a room full of shitheads who I can get into it with if I really want to. But yeah. Oh yeah, Paris. Everyone's in. There's no dissension on there's no dissension on Paris. I know everyone does that. So there's our standard bearer. Okay. And so that's generally what the criteria is, right? Aesthetically, does it look nice? How complex is it? I think complexity is key. I do think the more simple a level is, the weaker it is. Okay. Obviously now complexity that flows well. If it's needlessly convoluted, that goes against it. The main story missions are primarily what I'm focusing on because there's been so many elusive targets and stuff like that. But how wacky are the story kills? Do you know what I mean? How entertaining are the characters? How much does it encourage agency from you? Funny moments, weapon types. These are all the criteria. It's very fluid. Vibes, general presentation. Is it a cool looking, sounding, feeling level? Quality of disguises that you can get. These are what we're looking for here on this one. So let's go back to the very start here, and we will do the ICA training facilities. The first one you do is the yacht, isn't it? The yacht is the very, 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 very first level. I think, similar to Paris, I think the yacht is a fabulous illustration of what the series is going to be. And I remember, and again, someone mentioned, I think Agenda mentioned the Giant Bomb streams in the chat. I remember watching them play it, and like in the tutorial that like shows you just what the game is. So much room for experimentation, so much humor, so many NPCs saying stupid shit because you're skulking around and flinging fire extinguishers and acting like a fool. The way it's like the kayfabe of the game, they're all in on it. They know it's in a training level, and it's like a cardboard yacht with a cardboard helicopter. That stuff is absolutely fantastic. I do think though, I'm not going to go too high with the yacht because while it's a tremendous table setter like Paris, looking at the competition, it doesn't have the variety, the scope, the options of the other levels. It has a lot. For a training level, it has a lot. Competing with all these other levels, I'm not going to go too high with it. Yeah. So Jack says, solid, and Jenna and Jack both agree it's a C. I think that's an easy C. That's another very easy one. I think it's. Oh, Dragon says he's put it low B. I think B is quite high. I mean, it's again, size isn't the most important thing in Hitman levels because there's a lot of really good small ones. But I think relative to the competition here, I think it's a little too restrictive for B. I was thinking C as well. I'm going to stick it up there. Also, much like the Simpsons stream, there's going to be... You're not going to get any diplomatic, oh, well, they're all great levels. They all get to go to S. So we gotta fill this list out, the whole list. You know what I mean? I will put the Christmas level at the top of the DLC crap. It's not crap, but you know what I'm saying. Let me see. Yeah, this Turbo says C is a good way to gauge the others. You gotta have. I think you should have an S and a C to gauge what you're talking about here. So, ICA training facility. I could be convinced to go D on that. It has the ejectable seat. It has the ejectable seat, which is a great kill. Other than that, I think it's extremely basic. I think it's extremely... it's also a set, but it's a way less charming set than the yacht. It does have variety, again, for a training level, but much less than the yacht. If the yacht is a great training level, the facility is kind of just a training level. The facility, I got perfect mastery on the facility. I didn't have any fun doing it. It was very checklist. Jack says it gets to C because of the ejector seat. I think that might be fair. Oh yeah, the guy, see you soon, Agenda. The guy you can fuck with his chess set. Oh man. That is really good, and that's a great Hitman thing, isn't it? The chess set. That's such a Hitman thing. I tell you, I think I am going to put it D, and I'll tell you why. I do love the chess, and I do love the ejector seat. Might be one of the best kills in the whole game. That stands to this level, but I will say that my gut feeling is that it's certifiably a notch below the yacht. I can't put it on the same level as the yacht. The yacht has way more charm than the facility. So I will go D. I will go D on that. Let me see here. So next chronologically, I should pull up a list here of Hitman levels in chronological order. Full list of Hitman trilogy levels. Because I will start running out. Let me see here. Jack, if you are, so if I'll just I think I know Sapienza is next. I'll shout when I hit a wall, and if you guys would be so kind as to tell me what the next one is, we'll go there. But Sapienza is next. Now, so Sapienza was similar. Like if Paris was the perfect opening, Sapienza was, I think, when people were like, this game might be fucking incredible, because they knocked it out of the park again, and arguably better than they did with Paris. I will say this. I don't know if this is a spicy take. As time has gone on, I have come down on Sapienza a little bit, and I've kind of warmed more to Paris as the ultimate level. But I know I'm probably alone on that, because the conversation is basically always about Sapienza. I mean, Jack says this is among his favorite levels of any game ever. I've heard other people say that as well. I mean, this is a level that is so good, and it's everything I said about Paris amplified to another level, because like in Paris you have the mansion, and then you have all this other little stuff sprinkled around. In Sapienza you have the mansion, and you have a little town. You have we're not playing Grand Theft Auto here, but it's a little town with a church and a multiple cafes you can go into, and a butcher's and apartments. It's crazy. It's crazy for what is a relatively focused stealth game. I mean, I think the sales pitch on Sapienza is well made at this stage. It's gorgeous. It's got great shithead antagonists you want to take out. You can do one of the targets. You can kind of fake romancer, which is great. You can wear the plague. That's where the plague doctor outfit is in. Like the characters you're killing. That's where I think people really got to terms with they're fucking weirdos. They're real eccentric weirdos, and that makes it extra funny that you're annihilating them. It is fantastic. Dressing up as the stoner, dressing up as the chef, dressing up as the undertakers and the priest. I mean, it has a Hall of Fame list of disguises. The golf ball kill is incredible. Yeah, so the guy, one of the targets golfs, and of course you can get an explosive golf ball. I mean, it's like the greatest hits of Hitman in one level. Do you know what I mean? It's got comedy, it's got depth, it's got variety. It's insanely huge. I mean, it's just there's so much about it. I mean, the one negative on it, and I don't think this takes it down from S. I think it's probably going in S. It's incredible that there is a underground lab in this level. I found when I was first playing Hitman 1 that when I was replaying the game and I was having so much fun with it, and I was getting the golf ball and I was doing all those kills, I found that after I had all my fun doing the kills, having to go down and do the vial in the lab brings it down absolutely. Didn't they end up patching the lab objective? I don't think so. That would be news to me if they didn't. No, I don't think so at all. No, because there's a bunch of ways you can kill the targets by using the lab stuff. I think that's still in there. I might be wrong, willing to be corrected. But now, here's the thing. It bothered me at the time. It bothers me even more now when I go back. But also, IO themselves have gone back to this level so many times. It's crazy. I remember when they were first doing elusive targets, it was like my Wi-Fi is fucking, my Steam Deck's freaking out with the internet here. When they were first doing elusive targets, it was like Sapienza, because it's the most fun to mess around with. Do you know what I mean? Like that, it just is. I remember I streamed it actually on YouTube. It's probably in horrible quality, but you can watch it on this channel. I streamed the elusive target with the twins, which was in Sapienza, and there's like very tiny differences to distinguish them. And I think one of them has a watch or something, and I was able to make it out. And I was in the chef's apartment, who you go in and you get his outfit, and that's how you can get in as the chef. But his apartment also has a great vantage point of the main street in Sapienza. And so the twins were walking down the street, and so I can't remember how I think I brought my sniper. I think I'd unlocked a sniper rifle, so I just brought it into the level, and I sniped one of them from the balcony, and it was so good. The elusive targets really do, and even freelancer mode, which we're all presumably jumping back into at the moment. I mean, obviously that mode uses all the levels, but when you're back in Sapienza, it's like, great, what can I do? I know this level like the back of my hand. So many options. I mean, we're tiptoeing around it here. It's S. I think it has some fair criticisms, but nothing that takes it down from S. I agree with what Jack said in the chat. I think it's one of the best video game levels ever. It really can't be knocked. Up next was Marrakesh, which I don't love Marrakesh, and I'll tell you why I don't love it. I think it has a lot of cool stuff. It has a great kill that I really like, that to me is also iconic Hitman and the perfect type of thing 47 should do, which is masseuse. Dressing up as a masseuse is great. But the big problem is that it's the two key areas, the embassy and the base, the military base, are at like polar opposite points of the map, and I always found it quite tiresome to go from one to the other. And they not only distance-wise are quite disconnected. I feel like thematically they are also quite disconnected. It doesn't flow the way stuff... Even when you're on the other side of Sapienza, it feels in tune with the mansion. Do you know what I mean? It feels like it belongs in that world. I feel like Marrakesh, very split. I like the protest outside is cool, and the streets between the two key locations are well designed, and there's cafes and there's interesting interactions to be had here. Yeah, they're well done, but I think they do feel empty, and it does feel like something that almost none of these games have, but it feels a little bit like filler. Do you know what I mean? I think they could have tripled down on the embassy and just had the embassy be the level, and maybe the street outside the embassy. And as Deserter says, I have barely ever replayed that. I don't know what my mastery was on that level, but after getting like everything in Paris and everything in Sapienza, that was my first cut off. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's probably C, isn't it? I feel like it's probably C. We don't have a B yet, but that's not a B. That's not a B. Because if we're saying Ambrose Island is a B, then there's no way it's anything. Sorry, I'm pulling up the level list here. Okay, you guys let me out. Yeah, it's C. It's C. Can you guys let me know what is next in Hitman 2016? Bangkok, says Jack. So this is one that I think I didn't appreciate a lot at launch, but I've actually quite enjoyed going back to it, including in freelancer mode. I think it is a very well designed level with lots of interesting stuff. It is a hotel level, and it's very hard to shake the comparisons to Paris, right? I feel like it's doing it's a more focused kind of Paris-y kind of style of level, but with less stuff around it, right? Paris has the car park and the wine cellar and the auction. Bangkok is kind of just a hotel, right? But it's a very well designed clockwork. It's a very well designed hotel, and it's also. It gives us one of a great comedy bit, yeah, which is 47 as the drummer, is fantastic. I mean, that might be the ultimate stupid 47 thing out of the whole trilogy. Yeah, the lawyer is weak, and I think the quality of the targets matters, because obviously the levels are fluid and they can be used for other targets, for freelancer or for what's the other one? Elusive targets. As I'm talking here, I have to go update my stream title because it still says, what does it say? Time Splitters. And I had someone complaining last week because I was watching, I was watching the Sony State of Play, and someone complaining because it was labeled Time Splitters. Alrighty. And we're saying Hitman 2016. Oh god, there's a lot of games just called Hitman. Oh my god, there's a lot of games in this franchise called Hitman. Holy shit. World of Assassination. We'll just use that. Sorry, folks. I had to update that. Alrighty. Yeah, so the lawyer wasn't great. Jordan Cross was a very good target. Yeah. I'm kind of struggling on this one because Deserter says high B, low A. Wow, that's... I could do B. I think it's better than Marrakesh, I think. So that actually might make it our first B. And like I said, just by luck, because I'm not picking them on purpose, but I've had Bangkok a lot in the last week when I've been playing freelancer, and I'm like, this is solid. Like this is good stuff. Turbo says C, Jack says B. Yeah, I think the level design is strong, and also Cross being a faux, what's his face? Fucking Morbius, that prick. What the fuck is that cunt's name? Oh my god. Leto. Being a faux Leto is good. Thank you, Jack. God, my brain is on fire today. Bangkok will go B. B for Bangkok. As mentioned, I would also stay there. If I was rich, it's very... You know what it is? You know what Bangkok is? Holy shit, how did I just realize this now? It's very White Lotus. Very White Lotus vibes off of the Bangkok hotel. I would stay there. I can't believe I've only just realized that. Wow, they were ahead of the curve. All right, Colorado is next, I believe. Colorado, a controversial one. Here's the thing about Colorado. The other Hitman games all have this stuff. Colorado is... You can still obviously just potter around as 47 in a disguise. But it's one of those levels where this is hard. The gimmick of this level is hard. That's the great design. It's very tough. It's one that now, when I'm picking my campaigns in freelancer mode, I'm kind of dodging it wherever I can. I constantly forget about the thing where the different factions, like the safe crackers and the explosives and the ranged weapons guys or whatever the fuck it is, they're working together, but they're not permitted in each other's areas, so you have to have a unique disguise for each area. I don't think I hate it as much as people. It's going, we're getting some D from Dragon, and it's no fun, says Jack. Yeah, I suppose the other thing as well is 4 targets. 4 targets in a map where it's all hostile, right? There's no pottering around on the ground floor in Paris and going to a cafe in Sapiens and having a glass of wine. There's none of that. It's one of those, this is a level full of enemies. They're not NPCs on the street, they're enemies. Yeah, it's one of those ones where, you know what, I was playing devil's advocate to say it's not D, but here's the ultimate condemnation of it, right? It's one of those levels that's no fun to go back to and experiment with because the tools and the design is too restrictive, right? I think some of the story kills are very good. I think the targets are 4 very well done arseholes in an American militia. I think it's pretty well done. There's some good story kills, some good mission stories. I aesthetically I kind of like it. I like the it's very of the time. It's kind of a middle America farmhouse that's being tooled up to a sort of a militia's kind of standard. But yeah, I mean, elusive targets, freelancer mode, any of that stuff. It's you look at it and you go, oh, this is my elusive target this week. That's a bummer because I don't want to play that map. That's the ultimate condemnation of a Hitman map. I do like aspects of it. But the cardinal sin for a Hitman map is Hitman maps should trigger your excitement to revisit and explore them from an alternate angle. And anytime you go back there in Freelancer and it's like, okay, I have to get a poison kill and I have to do it in less than 6 minutes because that's what my Freelancer objectives are. And then you get there and you're like, oh wait, no, I can't go over there yet. Oh, I can't go over there yet. Oh, I have to get a disguise. So I have to stop what I'm doing, stop having fun, and stop trying to figure out a cool way to do this level. Get this guy over here, get his costume, okay, because you literally can't do anything without it. Yeah, let's do the inevitable and we'll stick that in D. That's fair. And that brings us then to Hokkaido, doesn't it? Turbo says C for first play. That's actually, see, Turbo, you're going as spicy as I was going there. I was playing a little bit of Devil's Advocate. Hello. Rosie, do you want to go out or do you want to stay in? Sorry, we're having a Rosie interlude here. Actually, shot. Oh. Take your time, Rosie. It's fine. Nothing's going on in here. I'll talk to you soon. Sorry. Rosie was enjoying my company and she fell asleep, and then Brona came home and was like, do you want to come out? And she did want to go out, but she was being very sleepy. Apologies for the dog interlude. Alrighty. So as I was saying there, Turbo was I'm kind of with you on first First play is a C for Colorado, but the replayability hurts. Anyway, Hokkaido. I don't love Hokkaido, kind of for the same reason. I feel like it's extremely restrictive, but also I actually don't know where I kind of land on. This is a tough one because I think it's super creative. I think you can do some mental shit in Hokkaido, absolutely mental. It's one of those ones where if people are playing that game and they're just playing it like Metal Gear Solid and they're just sneaking around everyone and then silenced pistol shotting the target in the head and leaving, I'm like, you are missing so much stuff. You should be poisoning sushi, and realistically, you should be tampering with the surgery robot. I mean, it was a good peak for the season. I don't think it was far from the best level of season 1, but it was a nice crescendo to just have a weird future tech surgery robot. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm gonna have to blow my nose again. Been fighting a sickness for like fucking 3 weeks at this stage. God damn. Anyway, yeah, I could see wanting a bit more of an open experience for their sole Japanese level. I could see that. But at the same time, I think the vibes are very good. I think the kills are very good. I will say not to the degree of Colorado, but a similar kind of thing of when I see Hokkaido pop up on like a free answer or an elusive target, I kind of go, it's just what Sapienza and Paris get right to me is they're not easy. High level play requires skill and patience, but Paris in particular, because it's still a tutorial level, they have like very accessible entry level costumes, right? You can get a waiter's outfit immediately at the start of Paris. Sapienza, it doesn't take you too long to get the chef outfit or even to get a bodyguard outfit in the mansion. Hokkaido, I kind of feel like there's too much it's like hard work just to get one costume in Hokkaido. I feel a little bit like they made you work for a screwdriver is a very concise way of looking at it. Actually pretty solid to run on Freelancer. I will say, actually, well, Jack, you're calling my bluff because I actually haven't tried. I've just avoided it. Maybe I should just do it. Yeah, what's the chat feeling? I'm a little bit conflicted on this one because I think it's also one of those ones where I didn't get very high mastery on it because it was tough. I had a Colorado-like reaction where I was like, don't really want to revisit, don't really want to replay. But I think I don't want to judge it too harshly for that. Jack says low B, high C. Mitch says B. Wow, okay. Actually, yeah, B. I mean, I suppose if Bangkok is our sole B so far, being able to spook someone to death gives it a B. Okay, I can go for the B. I was thinking high C, but I can go for the B. Dragon says it's a C because there's more A's and B's coming that are better. Okay, well, nothing's locked in till the end. We did have a rule in The Simpsons that I reserve the right to swap this until we finish it. So if we build out the A and B tier and then we go, wait a minute, Hokkaido, what are you doing in there? Get the fuck out of there. We can do that, but you know what? I'm gonna say, I will say we will put Hokkaido in B for now. And I will reserve the right to change it. I've shown it off before, by the way, but here's my little Steam Deck mouse and keyboard. Isn't it cute? It's what I'm using for this. It's much better than using the fucking Xbox browser and the Xbox controller the last time I did this, which was not fun at all. Anyway, and that is Hitman 1, Hitman 2016. A very good video game. The best game of 2016, some may say, including me. Alrighty. Let me see here. NZ next, says Jack. What's NZ? Not Hawke's Bay would have been next, wouldn't it? Or is that New Zealand, is it? Am I right? Yeah, Hawke's Bay. Oh, that's it. I did not even know that was in New Zealand. Okay. For a small level that is also technically a tutorial level, I like Hawke's Bay a lot. I think Hawke's Bay, it's not going to go too high just because I think it's too small, and I think it's really obviously a tutorial thing, but I don't know. The vibes are great. Like, oh, you've got the gun room. You've got the beach. I mean, it might be vibes carrying this in almost entirely. But see, I'm hesitant to put it on B, but I look at Marrakesh and I'm like, Hawke's Bay is better than Marrakesh, I think. Yeah, you can explore it unimpeded is great. It's also like it's also really condensed, which I didn't think would work in its favor, but it kind of does. I would love if they did some remixing of that level. I don't see it on the cards now because it's a Hitman 2 level and they don't really remix things with Freelancer, but I would love if they did like a house party level with Hawke's Bay or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So the scripting of it plays out a little bit differently, but is it a better tutorial level than the yacht, says Turbo? No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Don't they remix this in a DLC? Let's take a look here at the DLC zone. You may be right. Hawke's Bay, they do. Wow, okay. I guess I should check that out. I do own all that stuff, so I should probably a very weird Halloween remix. Okay. I might check that out, yeah. Because I think there's great potential there, but I think its focus and its scale are its biggest strength, and I think they're also its biggest weakness. I think it's super cool to just have a lavish house that's not a mansion, not a typical Hitman mansion, but do you know what I mean? I like it a lot, but I think I can go with B for now. And again, we reserve the right to bump that down if it's like, yeah, like looking at it here on C, like it's better than Marrakesh. Yeah, as Turbo asked in the chat, is it better than the yacht though? This is almost kind of making me want to put the yacht up at B. Yeah, I would also love to live in that house. But that's that. Now that's a list. Where would you most like to live out of all the Hitman games? I actually don't know. There's so many great ones. Dragon says it's probably the best really linear level. Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. Let's. I really want to move. I want to put Hawke's Bay in B and then put the yacht up in B as well. I'm gonna leave it for now. And again, I reserve the right to come back to this. Miami was next. I remember that much. Let me see here. Miami is great. Again, like tremendous kills, absolutely tremendous kills. Fucking people up on an F1 circuit. Another robot kill. This franchise loves having robots kill people, which is great. The whole swiping the ID card so that the robot thinks that the target is a target for the robot. I don't have a butt coming. I think this is an A. I think it's below the level of S, but I think it's one of the best. The mascot exit, flying away. The hack you can do where there's something you can do where you can wear the mascot and then you can cause the entire map to be wearing mascot outfits. The only thing, I think one thing that hurts Miami, it's not as bad as Marrakesh, but there's a lot of, it's really big, but it's not as easy to navigate as Paris or Sapienza. Having to go like under the underground car park to get to various parts of the map is always a little bit of a bummer. And again, just this week when I was playing Freelancer, loving it, having a great time with Freelancer, by the way. That's one where I'm kind of like, okay, I'm on a good run. Where's the second target? Oh, other side of the map, and there's not a linear kind of path to get there. I got to go over the racetrack and then under the car park, and that keeps it from S. But great story kills, big, detailed environment, the offices, the story targets offices, their sci-fi robotics lab / offices, so good. The racetrack stuff is all very, very well done. If you kill everyone in the level, the developers added a big money impression, which is a nod to one of the YouTubers who helped grow it. Oh, that's pretty cool. Um, challenge called Sheik Zanzibar. Excellent. Oh man, I have watched that. Side note here, I have watched that initial Hitsmas video from 2016 from Giant Bomb. I don't know how many times I've watched that. Man, that was some of the funniest shit. Giant Bomb's run with like Hitman, and then I think the next year, even though I didn't love the actual game as much as them, their Hitman stuff and then their PUBG stuff, I was like, man, these guys are fucking on fire. This stuff, their Hitman stuff that was so good. The Hitman Christmas stuff, I might fire that up this week now that we're talking about it because I want to relive that. God, that stuff was so great. Anyway, Miami is an A easily. It's one of the best, but it's got a couple of knocks against it. I think its vastness is a little overwrought, and I think it doesn't maneuver as well as Sapienza. Sapienza, as fucking giant as it is, it's so easy to navigate around. Like it's that's why it's S and Miami is A. Alrighty. Next up on the second game, we had is it Mumbai next? Santa Fortuna. Okay. Santa Fortuna is another one that I think I have actually warmed on this on a follow-up playthrough, and again, Freelancer, it comes up quite a lot. They use that map a lot for Freelancer because I think it's a decent little town. And again, very impressive scale, but also very easy to navigate around, with a centerpiece mansion, which I think is very well done. It's absolutely gigantic. It's like it's complicated, but again, I think it's not as easy to navigate around as Sapienza, but it's pretty close. And it's one of those ones where the repeat playthroughs, you're like, holy shit, I missed this whole area. I missed this little dungeon area. I missed, you know what I mean? It's so big. You could do 47 as a drummer in this one? I did not know that. Again, Hitman 1 is the only one that I went crazy replaying it on. I actually, I don't know if I've ever, I think I have said this because I streamed some of it. I finished Hitman 2 the week Hitman 3 came out because for whatever reason I fell off Hitman. I don't know why. I sincerely have no idea why, but Hitman 2 is a little bit of a blind spot for me. Okay, yeah, so you can do the... Oh, yeah. I had no idea you could do the drummer stuff. It's funny that you say it's not an IO level. Like, what, do they external team do that or something? But because I think it feels very much like a Hitman level. I think it feels very Blood Money in particular. Tough one to rank. Great kills. Another one that I would say is a little bit hard. Not as hard as Colorado, but I think it's a little bit tough. Dragon says A. I think that's actually kind of hard to argue with. I think it's really good. The mansion, yeah, is they're leaning heavy on the Escobar vibes intentionally, I'm sure. I think A is probably fair. I think it's better. It's better than Bangkok and it's better than Hokkaido. I think that's fair. I'm gonna go again. We can change that later. But low A, high B, says Jack. Okay, yeah, okay. When I started this, I did not expect that to go that high, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Mumbai next. Is that fair? Mumbai and then Wilton Creek, if I recall correctly. Mumbai is another one that I don't love. For a similar kind of reason to Marrakesh. Two big focal point areas. And they are massive. Again, the scale of the map is crazy because you've got the Queen, the underworld Queen's warehouse, and then you have the is he a Hollywood producer or is he a photographer? Who's the sleazeball you get in that? And he's in like a high rise on the other side of the map. I find that level again like like kind of intriguing on a first playthrough. Replayability, I kind of roll my eyes like, oh god, so much walking, so much traveling. Bollywood films, okay, yeah, and like there's some great kills for that guy. There is some really great kills for that guy. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is also the level where you have to potter around the city for fucking a half hour to try and identify a target. I hate that. Is it a target or it's like a secondary objective or something? The Maelstrom kill, yeah. That I hate that, and this is a through line for this series, and I think this is why people like freelancer mode and modes like elusive target. Is if there's a failing this trilogy has, it's that the secondary non-killing objectives tend to be really annoying. The virus in Sapienza, the Maelstrom kill in this level. We'll talk about Whittleton Creek shortly, all the other stuff you have to do in that. I don't like any of it. And when you're going back to do your mastery and you're trying to unlock all your bits and pieces, and you do your kills and they're super creative and you're pushing people off roofs, and then it's like, oh, go and retrieve the evidence, or it's like your playthrough just like stops. You know what I mean? It stops dead in its tracks while you try and find the fucking Maelstrom. Well, this is the strength of freelancer, is then that you don't have to deal with that bullshit when you go through it. I don't like navigating it. I think the warehouse section with the queen and the building are both well done. I don't like having to get to it. It's better than Marrakesh. I think it shares some of the same problems. The best kill is setting up a sniper to take out. I've missed a lot of these kills you're talking about. Like I said, after Hitman 1, I love all three games, but my replaying fell off after Hitman 1. So I have not milked these games as thoroughly as I should have. It's better than Marrakesh. Yeah. I suppose it's probably B is probably fair for this, because I think it's about on the level of Hokkaido. I think that's fair. The annoying thing is, I think if it was tighter and you cut the Maelstrom out of the story, we're not grading just the story, but the story does count. I think if you cut the Maelstrom out of that, I could entertain the conversation that this is an A. It has a lot of cool stuff. But I think the wind is blowing B for this one, I think. So I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay. Whittleton Creek is next. This is a tough one for the exact same reason we were just talking about there. Layout of the level, targets, kills, disguises. I love this level. Again, directly homaging Blood Money, the most celebrated game in the franchise, I would say. The suburbs, all the stupid conversations you hear, all the weird little characters, all the humor you get from 47 pottering around suburbia. It's all great, and I don't think this derails it. I don't think this makes it a D or anything. It's much better than that. It's a great level. Collecting all that shit in the story after you kill the targets, it's painful. It's painful, and if I recall correctly, you guys' memory for Hitman's better than me. It's like there's like an element of like procedural generation with it. Like the stuff you have to gather in Whittleton Creek, it's not the same place every single time, is it? It's like there are different pieces in different places. My memory isn't great, but it's always the same place. Okay, maybe I was doing it terrible. Maybe I was just doing a shit job finding it. Okay, I'll cut it some slack on that. You just need to get 3 of 5. That was it. Sorry. Okay, that was it. Yeah. Deserter says, I think this is a C. The suburbia gimmick is initially super promising, but the assassinations are really frustrating. Wow. Okay. I will say that the quality of the kills, I think, is like slightly disappointing. I don't love that aspect of it. I think vibes are carrying a lot of this. Humor is carrying a lot of this. Dressing up as the Muffin Man or whatever the fuck. This is gonna be a tough one to place because is there a B.5 tier I could put this on? Because I don't think it's A, but I think it's better. I think it's better than like Mumbai and Hawks Creek. Jack says it's an A for design, but a C for the collecting, so it averages out to be the middle of the B. B is getting pretty stacked here. Hello? You looking for me? She just opened my door and didn't say anything. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what she's doing. She's telling me to shut up. Anyway. Let me see here. B's getting kind of loaded. I'm getting agitated by this B tier here. I'm gonna come through this with a flaming sword before this stream is over, because these boys can't all be B. We can't take the easy route and put everything in B. I'm gonna put Whittleton Creek in B for now. It's too many B's. I don't like it. It's too many B's. Something's getting cut before the end of this. But yeah, Whittleton Creek. One thing I will say, here's a spicy take, and I think this is a negative towards it. Despite the better fidelity and the bigger scope of it, I think it is a worse Suburbia level than Blood Money. Now, I have not replayed Blood Money in quite a while. I'm going to be playing some classic Hitman games on this Twitch channel in the near future. But I remember enjoying the Suburbs level in Blood Money more. Play Whittleton and Freelancer. I have not done Whittleton and Freelancer yet, actually. Okay, yeah. This is why Freelancer is great, because it gives you a new perspective on everything. But that is Whittleton Creek. And then we go to the Isle of Sigil. They pronounce it in the game as Segal or Sigil. I don't know. Anyway, Isle of Sigil. The most eyes wide shut Illuminati bullshit level in the entire game. They really just start yelling the themes at you about the targets in this game. It's great. I mean, it's great. You want to talk vibes in this series? I mean, I think 3 might have the best vibes of the whole series, but Isle of Sigil is right there. It's great. Full of arseholes, dressed like arseholes, tons of interesting ways to kill them. Super impressive labyrinthian castle design. I mean, it's fucking Castlevania, but you're vanquishing dickheads instead of vampires. It's fucking great. Freelancer is becoming the buzzword of this stream, but again, a great map in Freelancer, because there's so much to do, and there's so many options. Also, story kills are great. Pushing someone into a coffin full of nails. It's full of ornate, fancy swords and cleavers and maces. It's got so many hilarious weapons to just butcher people with. Like, it's the ultimate illustration of the arseholes you're killing, and it's full of so many crazy ways to do it. It's fantastic. If you kill everyone, knights spawn in armor. Obviously people have put more effort into wiping out the entire map than I have. I did not realize there was this much stuff to see if you killed the entire. I also didn't realize you could kill everyone in certain maps. I didn't realize that was possible. But High B says deserter. Deserter also says Blood Money is aged really badly. It does have a very bad control scheme. Excuse me, I'm hiccuping here because I'm both sick and I'm drinking booze. Blood Money, when I play it, I'm going to see if maybe there's if any of the fine folks over on Steam have made like good modern control schemes for that game, because I remember playing it on PS2 and thinking, Jesus Christ, even at the time I was like, what the fuck? I think A is fair for Sigil. I think it's so Hitman. It's like, if this was the last level they did, if they didn't do Hitman 3, this would have been a perfect finale, because it's just like it's the wackiest shit and the most hateable enemies. Like, I think it's A. I'm gonna stick it at A. It is extremely epic. It is extremely vibey, whatever way you want to look at it. And that is Hitman. We will do the DLC here that are new maps. When I said we weren't doing DLC, I'm referring to these remixes of existing maps. We will do the Hitman 2 DLC, because it's great. Not only, like it's actually well worth doing. Haven Island is one that I only actually recently played for the first time again, because I was super late to Hitman 2. Haven Island I like. I think it's similar to a lot of others. I found it a little bit frustrating to try and get certain outfits or trigger certain kills because it's one of those ones where it's really busy and it's very rare that you catch people in moments of seclusion to get outfits. I'm trying to think, have I gotten any story kills in it? I probably have, but I actually can't remember them. You know what? I fucking streamed this, so you can go back and watch. I streamed this recently, like I streamed this on my current era of Twitch. Yeah, people can see you from miles away. The amount of time, and actually, you know what? That's actually really true of just Hitman in general. I have noticed that a lot while trying to speed run levels in freelancer mode. Is like if you're in a level like this in like Haven Island, if you see a guard and he's on like a little path behind some shrubs, and you're like, okay, he's like ages away from anyone. He's not really secluded, but he's ages away. I'll get him. The AI in these games have 20/20 vision, and they can spot you 2 miles away. Because if you do a choke out on a person and you're in the line of sight of someone else, even if they're a click away, they will see you. And I think Haven Island can lead to a lot of frustration. It can lead to a lot of frustration doing the basics because it's so open plan, right? And you can be spotted doing anything. It feels harsh putting it on the Marrakesh tier, but I don't think it's as good as Whittleton Creek or Bangkok. So I think we're gonna go C on that one. It's good. I think it's high C. I think it's licking at the heels of a B. You know what? I did get some story kill on this. This is another one where you could get. Oh yeah, there's actually a second level where you can do a masseuse. I think you can. Or some kind of spiritual kind of healer or something. Anyway, Haven Island's all right. New York. This is an interesting one because this is another one of the. I wouldn't use the L word. I wouldn't say linear, but it's pretty compact. It's not as big as the other ones. New York is straight up the best level associated with Hitman 2, says Jack. My God, better than Miami. My God, Jack coming out with a spicy take. I listen. I love it. I had a great time streaming it. I don't think I've revisited it since I streamed it. I really like it. I mean, it's got a lot of creative kills. It's compact compared to the others, but there's more to it than you might expect. Wow, Deserter says A as well. Wow, okay. I was thinking B, but man, I don't know. New York. A tier, really? That's really surprising to me. On the level of Isle of Sgâil. Actually, you know what? I think it's, by my own logic, I think it's better than Santa Fortuna. So maybe it is A tier. Actually, I'm trying to think of what goes against it, and I'm struggling. That might actually be a level I might replay after this. Actually, yeah, it's better than Mumbai. It's better than Whittleton Creek. It's better than Hawke's Bay. It's better than Hokkaido. Yeah, it's better than Bangkok. I'm fairly sure. Okay, I think a case has been made for New York. I'll replay that. It is great. I don't think I did the heist. I heard of it obviously, but I don't think I did that. Alrighty, and that's gonna wrap up Hitman 2. A very good video. I think Hitman 2. Do I want to say this? Yes, I do. I think Hitman 2 the weakest of the trilogy. I think there's an argument to be made for 1 or 3 as the best. It really depends on your preference. I would go 1. I think Paris and Sapienza are untouchable. But 3 is great, as we'll find out in just a few moments. But 2 is the weakest of a great trilogy. Yeah, I would agree with Jack. 1, 3, 2 is the order. Speaking of order, first map here. This is, I mean, this is classic Hitman. This type of level, Dubai. I love the verticality of this level. They do a great job of convincing you of the size of it, and the scale of it. It was a pretty good advertisement for the upcoming IO 007 game. It's very Bond, this level. It's got everything. It's got a pretentious kind of art exhibit. It's got people eating hors d'oeuvres and drinking wine and listening to presentations. It's got multiple tiers of soldier. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's got various guards with various grades. It's got a bumbling guy in the reception area where you can get a nice early outfit. 3 in general seems very James Bondy. It's almost, I don't know if that's on purpose or they knew they were doing it or what, but very James Bondy, all of 3. Dubai is also a great visual showpiece. So this is the first one they released on next gen consoles. I did get this game on the Sony PlayStation 5. And fucking hell, this is a good looking game. God fucking damn, this is a good looking game, and it is a good looking level to show it off. Yeah, all the like the intro, but the first time you play it, but also the various escapes you can do. Like, oh man, the kills. I mean, you know, you've got the blowing them up on the way to the helicopter is great. I actually can't remember what I did on my first playthrough of it. Oh wait, no, I think I did the you get him into a boardroom and I can't remember what you do. Anyway, Dubai is gonna be high. I think that's fair to say. I don't think it's S. Looking at them B's, I think it's higher than B. Shoot the parachutes, man. You guys are really making me realize I gotta go back and I'm gonna take a break from Freelancer and I'm just gonna replay these core missions because I've missed out on a lot of stuff. Jack says it's threatening. S. My God, Jack. My God. I mean, you're not wrong. I'm actually fairly comfortable putting it into A, and I think there's probably a case to be made. I don't think it would be S, but we'll go A on Dubai for now. Let's see. Okay. Up next, Dartmoor. So we'll do the obvious first here and say the route you can go through where it's evoking Knives Out and various other kind of thrillers and detective noir films is phenomenal. I mean, they showed such a knack for weaving kind of almost entire other mechanics into their same engine that again it felt a lot like an advertisement for a forthcoming game of theirs. Phenomenal design. Sorry, my voice is starting to go. It's been a long day. Take another sippy here. Oh my goodness. I was also talking at work. Today was my in the office day, so I was talking all day. We're entering hour 3 of streaming here. Excuse me. Anyway, the design of the house is just so gorgeous. It's so intricate, and I think all the less well known kills are also great. Like obviously the Knives Out one got so much play when the game came out. But the photo op for the family where you can like electrocute people, oh my God, it's great. It's so great. Pushing the old lady off of the balcony. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's great. It's great. I mean, I think it's S. I think it's S. I think there's like, yeah, it's better than New York. It's better than Dubai. It's yeah, and it's in the conversation with Sapienza and Paris. I think that's fair. Let me see here. I'm feeling less bad about how many B's there are because as I look at how this is going to shake out, I'd say the other. I think we're going to have a fairly even spread. I think, yeah, Dartmoor is infinitely replayable. I haven't done Dartmoor in in Freelancer yet. I would say that has to be a great Freelancer level. It has to be. Yeah, but the level of the number of story kills you can do that are really funny is crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so much in there. Yeah. Anyway, we will move on then to Chong King. That's the third one, right? Is that or Berlin? It's Chong King. Berlin, says Jack. Okay. I will say, generally speaking, I talked earlier about how the various gimmick levels largely do not work for me in Hitman. I would stand by that. I actually really like the identify the targets thing in Berlin. I actually think that works really well. I think getting the headpiece, the earpiece is great so that you can make out what's being said. Yeah, it's super tense. I mean, Hitman can be a pretty tense game in general. There's lots of comedy and it's very empowering and you feel great. But there's tension. There is tension in a lot of it. And Berlin in particular, there is a lot of tension. And I think it is the best and maybe even the only gimmick level that I think really, really, truly clicks. And I think it does click. I love the layout of the level. They of course, they finally got a proper nightclub scene in their trilogy. It would have been terrible if they didn't get one done. Like the aesthetic of the staff and the very shitty kind of style of the club. It's a perfect shitty club with shitty music. I think it's really, really great. The intro is really cool. I appreciate that they don't make you do it every time. But I think it's the first time you get it, it's really cool. And then I think the actual design of the level, very intricate as well. Very a little bit like Paris or like a less annoying Colorado, where there's branded areas that you have to be staff to be here, you have to be tech to go here, you have to be security to go here, but it's all very easy to intuit and it's not impossible to get those outfits, which is the key thing. There's the you can again, one of my favorite things in these maps is like when you can like trigger a meeting between characters and just like kick off a big fucking fight. Yeah, I think Berlin might be A. Is A too high? I think A is probably fair, actually. Looking at the other A's and looking at the B's, it's better than the B's. I mean, that's the fairest way to look at it is to look at these B's and go like, you put Berlin here next to Whittleton Creek. I've done Berlin on Freelancer a couple of times, and yeah, it's really great. It is really great. Yeah, we'll go A here. It's looking at those B's, it's way better. It's way better than those. It's way better than those. All right. Chongqing next. You'll notice a thread here for my personal preferences. Too much trekking for me. And again, it's like you look at Mumbai and Marrakesh, and now this. It's two big, elaborate, very cool levels they could almost be levels on their own in a different game with a lot of traversal in between them. I also found the lab, the high tech thing, be a bit of a ball ache to get around, and that's kind of by design. But I again, it kind of puts me off on a replay. It is gorgeous. It is maybe the best looking level. I mean, is it a bit obvious and is it a bit low hanging fruit? Just say the level with all the neon looks great. Well, if it is, sue me, folks. Sue me. All right, it looks great. It looks great. Would you count the third person shooter segment at the end of the first playthrough against it? Yeah, I don't like the final act of it. Again, it's one of those ones where it's just very, you kind of stop playing Hitman and then do a completely different thing in the final act. That hurts it. That hurts it for me. Again, you don't have to do that stuff in Freelancer and all this other stuff, but it does hurt it because at the end of the day, if you replay it in a normal mode, you have to kind of tolerate it. Yeah, and as Jack says, yeah, the Marrakesh thing. I mean, it's. I will also say that similar to Marrakesh, it's not just two intricate levels connected by a lot of walking. I think another thing it has in common with Marrakesh is that one section is way less interesting than the other. The drug the high tech area is very RC to get around. The kind of, is it like a drug lab or the kind of gang section? It's easier to navigate around, but it's also way less interesting. I don't love that section of it. And as I'm kind of talking about it here, I'm kind of talking myself out of this being on B tier. I'm kind of leaning more C on it, to be perfectly honest. Agent 47 versus the agency, the most annoying trope in the Hitman games. Yeah, I mean, we didn't really talk about it. I don't care for the story really at all across the three games. I think dropping you in a exotic location and playing me a little video that says, "Oh, here's the head of Big Pharma. Isn't he a shithead 47? Anyway, I'll let you to get ready." Love all that stuff. Everything else in the franchise, I really don't care about. I never have. I'm struggling to see this higher than C. And it does have cool stuff. Again, we're talking about levels here in the greatest trilogy of the modern era. It has too many knocks against it for it to be B. I mean, yeah, you look at B here, like Whittleton Creek is flawed, Mumbai is flawed. These levels are flawed, but I think they're their peaks are probably higher, and I would actually kind of agree with Jack in that I think the look is the thing that really pushes you to rank Chongqing high, but that is a factor. I'm totally factoring that, but I don't think it's the factor. You know what I mean? I think it's a good looking game in general. I'm struggling to see Chongqing higher than C. So I think I'm going to stick it there for now. Think about how the story would actually work way better if you skipped all the ending cutscenes because they go in so straight directions. Totally. I mean, like, I would go a step further, and I was like, if someone hadn't played this series and they asked me, like, is the story good? I would say anything that's not a mission briefing. Those super cool videos they show you where it's like, here's the target, and here's what type of person they are, and here's a map of where you go. Anything with that, was it Troy Baker voices the long-haired guy, right? Anything where it's 47 talking to those characters, skip it. I have zero time for it. It's time wasting to me, even in the couple of minutes of runtime it takes. But anyway, Mendoza is next. Mendoza is great. Mendoza is really great. It has obviously, we'll go straight to the Godfather. It has the Godfather vibes. It has tons of innovative kills. It's super fun to navigate around. Looks great. The guards even look great because they're really complementing the vibe of the level. Columbo vibes. That's a great pull. It's very Columbo. That's actually very good. That's very good. Columbo, I love it. Oh, can you get a Columbo outfit for 47? That'd be awesome. You probably can. He probably has a duster in the game, right? Probably does. Love the little dance with Diana in story mode. I think that stuff is great. Yeah. That the bedroom of the big house is great to snipe from. It's great to snipe from. So I do love that. Detective disguise is a big trench coat. Okay, yeah. So it's there. It's there. Yeah, I suppose the question is how high do we want to go? Better than B. I think it's fair to say it's better than B. The question is, I'm not feeling it in my gut for S. But maybe it's, I mean, let's put it here and see how it looks. Do you know what I mean? Put that there. Does that look right to you? I think it actually does. I think that's the quartet. I think that's the quartet of S tier levels in Hitman. Like if you were to put together a little mixtape of the very best Hitman has to offer, I think these four would absolutely do you. I did not come into this stream expecting Mendoza to be on S, but as I'm replaying it in my head and like the layout of everything and the story moments and the wacky kills and the variety of outfits and all that other stuff and the aesthetics of it looks great again. Hitman 3 kind of has a leg up on the other games because it really looks fucking great. Yeah, I like that. I like Mendoza at S. I'm happy with that. Let me just take another sip here before we get to the last one. Alrighty. The big one, the controversial one, the black sheep of the whole trilogy. The Carpathian Mountains. This is obviously the one that I was about to say this is the one that you have to play like a third-person shooter. Obviously, you can get around it. But when people say that, my kind of argument is that, like, yeah, but it's so... To do that is so kind of... You have to follow such an extremely particular path to do that it feels very not Hitman to me. And so I can't blame anyone who calls it the third-person shooter level. Perhaps this is an obvious take and it's something that people have said a million times over, but I've replayed it a lot for some reason to see if I can get a fresh take on it, see if there's really some genius ideas going on there. I really don't like it. I really don't like it. I think I will say this, right? I like the idea that after 6 years and however many levels and 3 games of disguise robbing and hiding in plain sight and silenced pistols and fiber wire and accidental kills, that they were like, we're going to let you go fucking ham with the guns in this game in a way you never have before. Conceptually, I get that. The problems are the following. 1, the novelty wore off after about 30 seconds. 2, it seems like they're taking a break from even though they've done tons of DLC, it seems like they're moving beyond this franchise now. And this did not feel like a worthwhile farewell to the franchise for now. The other issue is that this is not a third-person shooter. This is not Max Payne. This is not Stranglehold. This is not name your third-person shooter of choice. This is not GTA. This is not Dead to Rights. And I'm not really knocking the games in general for this, but when you get into combat mode, it's not that fun. It's not that fun. You know what I mean? It's the stuff you do in a panic when you absolutely have to do it. And this game centering that stuff did not do it any favors. And to go back to my earlier point where you can technically stealth your whole way through it, I'm like, yeah, but by going in one hyper-specific route that feels very anti-Hitman, because in Hitman, you can be a ghost, silent assassin disappearing into the night, never to be seen again in all the other levels, by doing whatever you want, getting creative, using these tools, going your own unique way. Whereas in this one, it's people are like, oh, well, you can stealth it, yeah, but by playing the most linear way possible. I can kind of understand what the goal was with this level, but as Jack says in the chat, swing and a miss. And also, yeah, again, and the saying in the chat, this level also kind of doubles down on the story stuff. It's the big grand finale, and that stuff is lost on me. Yeah, Deserter said he found it really strange. It's actually really, yeah, like imagine if Mendoza was the end. Like that would have been a beautiful swan song for the game and for the trilogy even. But they went with this. It's very odd. It's a very odd thing. I would love some kind of deep dive oral history type thing. I would love that on this level particularly. But actually, I'd actually like that about the whole series. But that's one thing. There's not really much spice to be had here. Much debate. It's a D. It's a D. Colorado, Carpathian Mountains, and ICA training facility are the Ds. I think I reserved the right to cut things, swap things, and make last minute changes. But as I'm looking at this, we'll run through it here very, very quickly, and I think I'm ready to just call that a list. It's looking pretty good to me here. So let's start at the bottom here. The ranking of the Hitman World of Assassination maps, starting at D, which I would call the subpar tier. Okay, I'm going to give that unofficial brand right now. The ICA training facility, Colorado, Carpathian Mountains. C, these are the levels that have something. They have something, but they're bogged down by being too limited in scope, or having a load of filler, or having an awkward design where there's too much walking and too much time killing going on. And so they are not quite in the upper echelon. The training yacht, Marrakesh, Haven Island, Chongqing. The B tier, this is the very good tier. This is the tier of levels that we loved playing, and they were nipping at the heels of the A and the S, but they weren't quite there. Their own little detractions, nothing as serious as the C's, but little reservations here that stopped them from getting to that upper level. Bangkok, Hokkaido, Hawke's Bay, Mumbai, Whittleton Creek. The A tier. The A tier. These are phenomenal levels. They encapsulate Hitman. They have a beautiful balance of ambition and conciseness. And all they're missing, that little X factor. Just missing the X factor to get them into the next level. But they're almost there. These would be phenomenal levels in any other video game. They put most other video games to shame, but they're not quite the creme de la creme for Hitman. Miami, Santa Fortuna, Isla Sagale, New York, Dubai, Berlin. And then finally, the S tier. 4 of the best levels ever committed to a video game. We'll say it right here, right now, in this chat, on this stream. We're not afraid. Any console, any genre, any franchise, any era. This is chef's kiss level design. And this is your perfect Hitman mixtape. If you're in some kind of bizarre desert island discs scenario where you're sent packing with a PS5 and a weird burnt Blu-ray disc of these specific levels, you're in heaven. Paris, Sapienza, Dartmoor, and Mendoza. And that's the list. That is the list, and I'm very happy with that list. And I greatly appreciate the weigh-in from the chat. I feel like if I was going just on my gut, certain things you guys suggested, I don't know if I would have put New York A. But you guys were so high on it, and I really started to mull it over, and then I look at it and I'm like, yeah, it's better than Mumbai, it's better than Whittleton Creek. Come on, let's be fair. I think that's very fair. Yeah, I'm happy with that list. I mean, I don't think there's too much more to say. Obviously, then we've got our DLC list here, and then this is not a knock on these levels. It's just that because they're remixes of existing levels, it's just like it's too into the weeds, and it's you're debating slightly different flavors of things that are already listed here. But a lot of this DLC that I've played is really good. I haven't played it all, but yeah, there's the list, everyone. There's your list. It's my list. It's our list. Garrett coming in at the very end to say Berlin is C. Garrett, you monster. You monster. You're gonna make me go until midnight coming in with fucking Berlin is C at 4 minutes to 10 p.m. My God, sir. Have you no shame? Berlin! Of all the things to have a spicy take on. Anyway. I'm locking this in. I don't have a big fancy button. I need a button to slap that's like it is locked in. But yeah, that's going to do it for the Hitman ranking stream. And that's going to do it for my stream this evening. Again, those of you watching on YouTube, if you are on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. You could have been here live in the chat to duke it out with people like Garrett and have your say and rank. Next time I do a ranking stream, be there live. You're going to want to be there live. I listen to the people when I want to. Again, if you're also watching on YouTube, you can check out the Time Splitter stream. God fucking damn, that playthrough took years off my life. But I'm not done taking years off my life yet, because 2 new playthroughs are starting, my friends. 2 new playthroughs are starting. Tomorrow, we're starting The Punisher. My family. We're playing 2005's The Punisher, and we're playing that... Don't tell anyone I told you this, okay? I don't want to get banned off Twitch. We're playing that uncensored shit. That PC version. Uncensored ownage, 2005. All the power of the PlayStation 2, but it's actually the PC version. Punisher starts tomorrow. And then next week, The Punisher will resume on Thursday. Our Wednesday game is Half-Life, which I'm very excited to play. Talking about Time Splitters coming off my sort of legendary backlog of games I somehow didn't get to. I've never played Half-Life. I've played a little bit of Half-Life 2. I've never played the original Half-Life. That will start next Wednesday. But in the meantime, Thursday will be Punisher Day. And I am really looking forward to doing it. Thank you so much, everyone in the chat, for stopping by and for weighing in. I greatly appreciate these. These ranking streams are great. I'd be down for some wrestling ones. I think these I like these little ranking streams as a kind of break from my usual kind of thing. So I'll definitely do another one soon, and I would be down for a wrestling one. If there's a wrestling one people want to see, I will mull my options, and I will certainly consider it. But yeah, I will see you same bat time, same bat channel for The Punisher tomorrow, which I'm so excited. I've been saying I'm going to play Punisher on stream since I started streaming, I feel like. And it's a game I'm just super excited to revisit in general, because I have such a soft spot for it. It's another one of those ones where it's a very near and dear to my heart cult PS2 game. And you know what that means, everyone. I'm going to have fun with it for 2 hours, and then I'm going to get really fucking annoyed at it, because I'm sure it has some bullshit in it that I've forgotten. But we'll find out together as a family tomorrow. In the meantime, folks, have a pleasant evening. I will talk to you all tomorrow or whenever I see you. Peace out.